muna on the specific allegations or accusations being mouthed by these witnesses. But at this point, meron lang akong ilang-ilang punto lang na which I think deserve immediate response. Not yung mga, mga so-called witnesses, the convicts, whoever else, former an NBI official, etc. Kundi yung punto lang na rinaise niya General Magalong. But before that, medyo break lang tayo ng konti. I just remembered. I told you, media, that I've been receiving a lot of harassing, intimidating texts from this number. Kasi ito ang numero that the committee had so recklessly allowed to be publicly disclosed in the course of the inquiry the other day. I told you about it. I issued a statement in respect to that. Tuloy, hindi ko na magamit itong numero na to. Halos wala nang pumapasok na mga legitimate na mga text. Puro na lang mga pambabastos. Puro na lang mga pananakot. And even calls, non-stop. Although halos wala naman akong sinasagot kasi kapag hindi ko naman kilala ang numero, hindi ko talaga sinasagot. Pero the fact na non-stop, lalo na nung isang gabi, I'm sure galing talaga sa mga kampo na yan. I mean, these are by the nature of the text, by the nature of the messages, this could only come from these trawlers and from the Duterte fanatics. Random lang although baka maano tayo dito, masensor kung sasabihin ko talaga sa inyo kung ano ang mga laman nito. So I'll just choose the rather less offensive. Ito nga. Obscene nga itong una ko kaagad nakita. Pakita ko na lang sa iyo para i-share. Birthday naman. Ang mukha mo, maiyak ka, magpasakasanet, ang tao, galit na sa'yo. Cuddler, immoral, pangit. Okay? Hoy, delimaw. As in halimaw, siguro to. Hoy, delimaw, kailan ka magbabaril sa ulo mo? Kahit katiting, wala ka na bang konsensya at kahihiyan? Booking na booking ka na. Kaya kung kami sa'yo, magsabi ka na lang ng totoo at baka sakali bumaba pa yung kasong kakaharapin mo. Matanda ka na. Konti na lang buhay mo sa mundo. Hindi ka ba natatakot mamatay ng makasalanan? Pwera lang kung pati sa impyerno gusto mo mapunta. That's just a random choice. Although, kasi hindi ko naman talaga binabasa na lahat. Kayo ba naman maka-receive ng almost 2,000 of such texts? Baka nabuwang na po kayo. Ikaw pala ang isa sa mga salot sa Pilipinas. Umamin ka na. Mahiya ka, uy. Ang dami pa, ang dami. Samples lang, no? I can probably show this to some of you. nagbigay lang ako ng sample, and these were really my random, sobra, meron pa mga mas sobra, mga mas obscene, mas threatening. Can you imagine that? And talking about ganyan, because acts of harassment. Anyway, I asked for the clearance to disclose this. Okay. Lalo na, nung nakita ko na ngayon sa dyaryo, page 12, other papers. Ito lang kasi nakita ko ngayon. DOJ reversed ruling on Marcelino drug case. Bakit ko sinasabi ito? Bakit ko ito pino-point out? So ngayon na ito, this is Philstar, page 12, reporting na yung dating desisyon ng DOJ which dismissed the case against Colonel Marcelino, reverse. And naka-report pa nga dito na of course, initially, the hunting prosecutor recommended the dismissal for insufficiency of evidence. Now, he is being charged again. And there is a quotation here from a certain Chief Superintendent Antonio Garjola, former chief of AIDG, said the DOJ resolution comes as a relief for the lawmen going after drug offenders. The PNP Anti-Illegal Drugs Group welcomed the reversal of the DOJ ruling. And there is a quote attributed to Chief Superintendent Antonio Garjola saying, whoever they are, even active members of the PNP and armed forces and the government, as long as you're involved in drugs, they should be caught, certainly. And then Chief Inspector Roque Merdia, former chief of the AIDG, said they are hoping the Manila court will soon issue warrants of arrest against the two. In a matter of time, we are just waiting for the issuance of warrant of arrest by the court, and after they are considered wanted. So after dismissing the case for insufficiency of evidence, the DOJ suddenly reversed it. What is the relevance of that to what I'm going to reveal to you? I asked the permission of the one who forwarded the text to me from Marcelino. The texts were sent to this other cell phone of mine. Kasi halos hindi ko na nga ito gagamitin eh. Sisirain ko na to. Pinipreserve ko lang yung mga messages for whatever purpose it may serve. Okay. Hindi ibig sabihin, don't take it literally. Alright. Now, but I got messages from a common acquaintance. You know, for his protection, I cannot reveal who he is. But I got two messages from my source forwarding. So it's really forwarding. Messages from Lieutenant Colonel Marcelino. The first one was received by our common acquaintance July 19, 2016. The second one, fairly recent, was received September 5, 2016. Messages lang ito na pinorward ng aking source from Lieutenant Colonel Marcelino. Ang laman po, ganito. This is verbatim. A message I got from Lieutenant Colonel Marcelino. This is the July 19, 2016 message. Mista, good PM. Magpasalamat lang sana ako sa lahat ng tulong at efforts mo for me habang ako ay nasa kulungan. I can never thank you enough, Mista. Hindi pa ako masyado makagalaw at labas ngayon dahil ang daming gusto kumatay sa akin, Bok. Di ko pa din mapuntahan si Senator LB, obviously referring to me, Leila de Lima, LB. kasi ginagawan kami ng mga fabricated stories. There are also some groups who is trying to convince me to speak against her. But rest assured na hindi ako pagagamit sa kanila mista. Not only because I really appreciated and forever indebted sa inyo ni ma'am, but because the people deserve no less than the truth and justice. With my little knowledge and brief encounter with her, I never doubted whatsoever her integrity mista. Magpasalamat din sana ako sa kanya personally when everything settles down. Ingat lagi and maraming salamat uli, mista. That was July 19. The more recent message, a shorter one, na pinorward ulit sa akin ng source ko, September 5, 2016. So the message from my source, I got a message from Lieutenant Colonel Marcelino, quote, "Mista, pressures against me are mounting, and they would even reopen my case. But rest assured that I will never give in to them, Mista. Please tell Senator L to keep faith and be strong." I want people to know that these things are happening now. Meron pa rin ibang alam. Hindi lang ako nakakakuha pa ng clearance from them kung pwede ko na rin i-disclose sa inyo. Through our common acquaintance kanina, nung nabasa ko nga po itong media report na ito, when I woke up this morning, na-reverse na yung kaso against Colonel Marcelino, I immediately texted our common acquaintance and asked him, can I seek the permission of Colonel Marcelino to disclose what he texted to me, or what he forwarded through you to me? Messages. And sumagot naman yung common acquaintance namin na pwede daw. Although out of reach by anyone ngayon siya, apparently because siguro nalaman na niya to, na mag-i-issue na sila ng warrants of arrest, he is secretly, privately communicating with me po. That's the situation now. As I said, meron pa hong ilang mga similar cases. They have been accessing certain personalities. Yung mga alam nila na dati kong mga nakakatrabaho. I think your question would be, why kaya ina-access si Colonel Marcelino at pinipilit siya to testify against me? He was part of the interagency as a representative of ISAF. I think it was one of those disclosed by General Magalong yesterday. Correct? If you review yung kahapon ni ni General Magalong. Kasi some of the intel na mga nag-gather namin noon in the course of the interagency came from Colonel Marcelino. Of course, we have other sources. And another thing that was confirmed by General Magalong was, diba, when he first approached me, may nakita siyang parang diagram o parang that's proof na even before sumama sa amin si General Magalong and offered to also participate because meron siyang sariling oplan, we were already starting all of this, that we were already discussing the situation in Bilibid. And when we say we, kami na nasa DOJ, meaning DOJ, when I say DOJ, with respect to the situation of the inmates, it's Bucor and also NBI because of the investigative aspect of things. So even before dumulog sa akin si General Magalong and also shared yung mga nakuha nilang mga information about the goings on in the Bilibid, dati na rin po namin yan pinag-uusapan, dati na rin po namin yan pinaplano. It is an interagency operation. Now on the point na during the final implementation of the raid, hindi nakasali si General Magalong and his group CIDG. May explanation po dyan. Although let me make it clear na hindi po accurate yung parang nagiging impression na naging etsapuera yung PNP. I, I, I think nasabi rin yan ni General Magalong na during the final implementation, aside from NBI, aside from Bucor, and then PIDEA, although yung mga use of K9, PNP was involved. NCRPO and other select units of PNP plus SAP. Nakalimutan lang banggitin ni General Magalong kahapon na may SAP. But I remember he mentioned select units of PNP and NCRPO. So, it's not true that PNP was out of the operations simply because CIDG under General Magalong then ay finally hindi kasama. But the whole operation, ang lead agency was still DOJ through NBI and Bucor. And that is one of the reasons kung bakit ultimately hindi ko ma-adopt yung pinopropose ni General Magalong na Oplan na he said something about volunteering to be ground commander. I could not do that, especially when I discussed it already with kina Villasanta and also Bukayo. Na since this Bucor is under DOJ, kailangan ang lead is really DOJ through Bucor and NBI. So kung ang magli-lead is PNP, hindi po naging acceptable yan kina General Bukayo. Yung pong sinasabi ni General Magalong na one time he was approached by Villasanta and Bukayo na ayaw, wag niyong ituloy ang raid and then can you arrange a meeting with, I'm not very sure about that. I don't know that. In the first place, I doubt about that. Pwede bang i-arrange to meet with SOJ? Why would he? I mean, he can meet me. He can talk to me anytime. And we did talk. We did meet many times because he was the Bucor director. So why all of a sudden he would say na i-schedule mo nga ako? He could very well go directly to me. So I'm not sure about that statement of General Magalong, much less yung sinasabi niya na kinausap siya at sasabihin na wag na lang mag-raid. Because in the final implementation of the raid, nandun siyempre yung Bucor component. Although the real lead unit in the entire raid was NBI, as personally led or supervised by me. So that is what I can remember. Yes. I'm not sure about whether 2014 siya lumapit sa akin. Can I have part one? What did you say again? I'm not sure about the date. I don't think it's 2014 that he first approached me. I think 2015 na yon. I don't know, I may be wrong also. I think 2015 na yon. Although by that time, nagsisimula na rin po yung mga discussions ko with Bucor and NBI. So yung lumapit siya sa akin, I don't quite remember that anymore. Yes, there may have been delay. It's because nga, when I discussed this, took that matter with Villasanta and with Bukayo, and in fact, in some of those instances, present then si former Director Mendez for NBI, ay ganun ang sinasabi nila, ma'am, hindi ho pwede na PNP ang maging lead because this is Bucor, which is under DOJ. And I could sense that there was dynamics within and among these police officials. Remember, General Bukayo used to be PNP official also. They had some issues with General Magalong, personality-related issues. Natatandaan ko po yon. But the real reason why nakumbinsi po ako na in the final implementation, support na lang sila and lead should be DOJ and BI Bucor is because of that. That Bucor is under DOJ. Pero again, kasama pa rin ho namin yung PNP nung nag-implement. Kasi nandun nga yung NCRPO, certain other units, and SAF. Meron pa ngang mga snipers from SAF. So they were involved as support. Yes. Mm-hmm. That's why I decided to speak to you now. That's why nothing like that's quite an outrageous insinuation. That's why I felt I have to react right away. Hindi ko na yan isasama dun sa sinasabi ko sa inyong, I'll just explain later. I had to react because what I've been reading and hearing, there are very unfair, unfounded insinuations. Na may insinuations na, what? Ano yun? Pakitang tao na lang yun? O hausyaw na lang yun? Or what? Dahil may tinatago. General Magalong himself, remember, admitted that it was a very successful raid. And I can tell you that. It was a very successful raid at walang mga ganyan na mga furies. Yes. Yes. Well, I was not the one who resolved that case because I was no longer there. But hindi ako nagulat nung dinismiss nila yung case due to insufficiency of evidence, especially that the handling prosecutor of that case, the original handling prosecutor, who na nakasabi rin dito sa PhilStar item, who recommended the dismissal of the case for insufficiency of evidence, is Senior Deputy State Prosecutor Theodore Villanueva. He's a good, straight, very competent prosecutor among the more competent prosecutors, state prosecutors in the DOJ, and is finding no probable cause, insufficiency of evidence, and therefore dismissal. And now here we are, biglang reverse. I'm not passing judgment on the correctness of the legal action. No, ano bang totoo dyan? Ano ba ang tama dyan? I-dismiss ba o filean ba ng kaso? But look at the circumstances. I have no reason to doubt what was forwarded to me from Colonel Marcelino, na iniipit siya para ituro whatever it is na ano ang ituturo nila sa akin. As I've said, there are several other instances, personalities na ginaganon nila. Yes. I will address that later. Gusto ko na munang pakinggan lahat yung mga testimonies na yan ng mga so-called witnesses, lalo na alam nyo, you know, of course, I was also watching yesterday. Since all of these alleged witnesses pumupuntirya kay JB Sebastian, I wouldn't be surprised anymore na he would also testify. I have, basta ganun ang aking ano. Yes. Yes. I cannot elaborate on that. That's why my advice to the House Committee, if they are willing to take that advice, but I think they invited also sila Villasanta, Bukayo. Yes, I would urge them to invite them. Although I would not know kung how, you know, yung pagdi-disclose nila ng mga operational details, would they go? Because these are operational details. Sila talaga yung mga nagsusupply sa akin din ng mga information to guide me on whether or not to proceed with the raid. Diba? So, sila yung nakakaalam, yung mga sources. Sila ang mga kinonsulta ko kung sino-sino yung mga ililipat. Kasi mga confirmed based on intel sources na mga may ano sa droga. So I would not want to further touch on that because as I said, I would want muna to hear out all of these so-called witnesses. The reason why I'm saying that he is an asset is because to dispel yung mga haka-haka na naman, yung mga malicious insinuations na the reason why hindi na muna siya sinama dun sa Believe It 19 is because favored, protektado, and then lalo na yung insinuation na yan na siya ang kumukolekta ng pera para sa akin or what. Let him address that. If he wants to testify, let him address that. But and para lang to dispel that insinuation na kaya ganon hindi siya kaagad transfer is because kakontsaba namin or what, you know, the real kontsaba there is because nanggaling sa kanya yung mga ibang impormasyon. And the Believe It 19, alam siguro nila yan. Baka patayin. But eventually, nung linipat na sila sa Believe It 14, I was still being advised na wag na muna talaga siyang isama because of that. But sabi ko, no, we should include him. Kasi nagiging issue. May mga naririnig ako ng mga kung ano-ano. Diba? So we have to include him dyan sa Believe It 19. So eventually, I mean sa Building 14. So eventually, linipat siya, especially during the time of Rainier Cruz, General Rainier Cruz.
Sabi niyo po, these witnesses were presented because the representatives were maybe coerced, intimidated, or pushed to talk.
Iba-iba.
Aside from the text messages that you're getting, ano pong pwede yung sabihin natin directly that would say na talagang they're being coerced and intimidated?
Ito kasi wala talaga akong clearance, so I don't want to really give so much detail. But remember what I also said in the privilege speech na may mga subjected to psychological torture. I know of a validated case na ganun. Linabas ng SAF, dinala sa ISAF. I won't tell you kung kailan to nangyari kasi baka matukoy nila kung sino yan. Kawawa naman. And then nung binalik, talagang signs of wala namang physical torture, but signs of psychological torture. And again, why? Why was he subjected to psychological torture? According to my source, pinipilit na naman na ituro ako.
Are you taking legal action against your detractors?
Yeah, I'm contemplating on this. In fact, sa dami kasi ng mga nangyayari ngayon, and then itong ginagawa sa akin na panggigipit, araw-araw, tumitindi yung paggigipit sa akin, I hardly have time and energy anymore to be thinking about myself and to be thinking about my next moves. But certainly, I'm mulling over several legal actions. Unang-una, writ of amparo, habeas data. I'm now a subject of persecution and I'm no longer safe. I don't feel safe. The truth is, I'm not safe. Can I rely on the regular authorities in government? Can I rely now on PNP for my security? Can I rely now on NBI as my security? I mean, I'm referring to the institutions themselves. Can I rely on the AFP, again, as an institution, to give me security? Alam niyo po siguro sagot dyan. So what is my choice? They're violating my rights. Right to security. Right to privacy.
How soon are you going to?
As I told you, hindi lang ako makafocus dun sa mga actions for my benefit, for my own sake, because there's so many things. There are so many pressing matters that I have to attend to. Not yet. I'll take it up with the Senate President. I'll take it up. If I disclose that, then you're further exposing me to danger. Yes, I have to temporarily leave my house. I'm now in a temporary place of abode. Look at that. And hindi lang ako apektado, of course, because I live in a subdivision. So kahit may guards, apektado yung buong subdivision. So they're now taking extra steps, extra security measures. So that's an added burden on the subdivision. Na nadadamay lang sila because of me. Yes. Should I? Ako ang ginigipit nila sa mga walang katuturan ng mga akusasyon nila, and then ako ang magre-resign. I don't want to speak further. Baka kung ano pang mga masabi ko, lalo magagalit ng mga yan. Yes. I forgot already. Hindi nga, because may issues kasi, dynamics. Yun ang impression ko kina General Bukayo. May issues sila related to the personality of General Magalong, and then apparently may dynamics, and therefore PNP was still part, wag lang yung grupo ni General Magalong. Let General Bukayo, let Villasanta respond to that. I don't think so. Hindi ba ata? Di ba recent lang? I really don't know kung sino yung NCRPO noon. We can check it out. Yes. I ask you, sino pa ba ang official na yellow na mas mataas sa akin noon? When I was Secretary of Justice, I was an alter ego of the President, and therefore, the only one higher than me is President Pinoy himself. And so are they saying it's my president who is also a beneficiary of these things? Of course not. You know Pinoy. I mean, very outlandish, very outrageous. So hindi ko na alam nang nangyayari. Masyado na silang nagiging confident sa sarili nila. They're becoming so reckless. They're resorting sa mga kwentong kutsero na ngayon. So you know, it's getting to be laughable. I would not know. Why don't you ask Secretary Aguirre?
That also have reactions at this conduct of the hearing wherein the
I'll reserve that. I'll reserve that first to myself kasi baka ma-misinterpret po ako ng mga members ng House Committee. What I can say is that nakikita ko naman that the chair, Congressman Umali, is rather fair in handling the proceedings. In fact, Congressman Ray Umali is one of the godfathers of my eldest son, Israel, and he is also a brother in the fraternity. Pero hindi ko siyempre siya kinakausap ngayon purposely para wala hong masabi ang iba. I'm letting him, you know, be on his own. Meron lang akong basahin muna, may inabot lang sa akin. Okay. Yeah, I must confirm also that I really I respect General Magalong. I see him as a very professional official. Kilala ko rin yan. And what I can say is that kaya ganun ang parang naging ano niya yesterday is he had some sentiments because he was medyo nagtatampo. I think he admitted that, na sumama ang loob niya and PIDEA. Correct? Dahil hindi siya involved finally. So baka out of frustration lang, kaya niya linabas yun. But other than that, I have no problem with General Magalong. I perceive him to be a professional official. Last questions, please. Mm. Absolutely false. Oftentimes, and yung mga insinuations na yan, I stayed there, what, hours? Ano na naman ang pinapalabas nila dyan? Okay. Not at all, not at all. That's completely false. That is very malicious. Kasama yan sa script nila para lalo nilang siraan ang pagkatao ko. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, patingin ko ng dyaryo, ma'am. Ma'am, yung dyaryo tap.
Meron na naman. Ano na naman kaya yan? I have not seen that. So no comment muna because hindi ko pa nakikita. Thank you.